I'll open the meeting at 7 p.m. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Cullis.
Yes.
McCamey.
Here.
Perkins.
Here.
Huxley. Turpinning. Murphy.
Here.
DeSessa.
Here. I will make a motion to, have we heard from Kari?
No, sir.
Okay. I will make a motion to excuse Mr. Turpinning.
I'll second.
Motion by Chair Cullis, second by Councilman Perkins. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of the agenda. Motion, or Chair would entertain a motion.
I will so move.
Second.
Moved by DeSessa, second by Murphy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now approval of the minutes from October 13th, 2022. Are there any additions or deletions?
Make motion to accept the minutes as proposed.
Second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Murphy. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Statement of purpose. The mission of the Holly Historic District Commission is to safeguard the heritage of the village of Holly by preserving the historic district in the village that reflects the elements of the village's history, architecture, archaeology, engineering, or culture. The goal of the Commission's work is to stabilize and improve property values in the historic districts and the surrounding area, foster civic beauty, strengthen the local economy, and to promote the use of historic districts for education, pleasure, and welfare of the citizens of Holly. We don't have a presentation this evening. I will move to public comment. Anyone for public comment? None appearing. Get with me on public comment. We need to add the sentence in there that explains public comment to the public.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? I didn't realize it wasn't there.
Oh.
Aha. Kari is with us for the record. Welcome. Good evening.
Hello. Sorry if I'm late.
We are at public comment,
Okay.
and we have nobody for public comment, so we will go to new business. New business is the number is 2022-005. The Historic District application for Raymond Sinclair Senior Design Consultant, Home Depot, 115 Battle Alley, to replace the front window due to the fire damage. I think this application is actually for Randy Redmond, is it not?
That's correct.
It's not for Raymond Sinclair, but he's the representative.
Yeah, he's the one that says on the
Okay,
applicant.
I just wanted to make that for the record. The application's for Randy Redmond.
Well, that's how he addressed it in the application, was Randy Sinclair, Senior Design Consultant. According to the application, that's how we made it.
Okay, but, so who signed the application?
Property owner name, Randy Redmond, and I don't know, it's not legible.
Yeah, it's a squibble.
That's my signature.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so then, I know nobody likes it when I do this, but I can't stop myself. My concern becomes, does Randy Redmond know that we're here? Who wrote the check?
Oh, yeah,
Did you write
absolutely.
it? Did Randy?
Mr. Redmond wrote the check.
Mr. Redmond,
Okay, that's my concern, because we don't want to be doing something, find out the property owner doesn't know we're here.
he's
So-
well aware.
I'm sorry?
He is well aware, sir.
Okay.
He's out of state right now.
I just wanted to clarify. So then let's go in. Mr. Sinclair, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, sir. Again, my name is Raymond Sinclair. I'm a senior design consultant for Home Depot. Our branch office is located at 13121 Waco Drive in Livonia, Michigan, 48150. I am here representing Mr. Redmond today for his business, which is 2 front windows, or actually 6 front windows were damaged as a result of the fire across the street. In the application, I briefly state what we are proposing for Mr. Redmond's business, and that is to install Anderson 100 series windows in the same configuration as he has now, which is basically a large picture window on the bottom with 2 fixed awnings on the top, and there'd be 2 sets of those basically. As you can see in my presentation, Mr. Redmond did sign a contract with Home Depot. The windows cost $11,388.79, in which he placed a deposit of $2,847.20 down, which leaves a balance of $8,541.59, and that was signed by Mr. Redmond as well. Also included in the package is basically a spec sheet of what we intend as far as the sizes are concerned. And that was not only measured by myself, but we also do the old contractor's adage where we measure twice and cut once. So we send out a measure tech out after me that remeasures the windows and gets more accurate if he has to. So as far as the spec sheet is concerned, those are the actual measurements of the windows that would be installed in that area. And they are of the same size that are in there now. Also, if you look at the spec sheet, because of the age of the property, there's always a potential of having lead-based paint on the property. Home Depot does follow lead-based abatement practices according to the EPA, so we would be protecting the property in that fashion as well. The picture that I found online, of course, is before the fire. The awning does cover the awning windows, but you can see there are 2 sets of large picture windows that face the alleyway. And then if you turn to the interior picture, you can see the actual awning windows on top. I apologize for the quality of the pictures. It was very dark, and that was the best I could do to demonstrate the type of windows. But what we are proposing is the exact same style and features of the windows. Now, if I may approach, I have a sample here of what the windows will consist of. Anderson has a product called Fibrex. It's a vinyl cladding on the outside with a wood composite on the inside. It makes for a very durable frame. What's nice about the Anderson windows is it doesn't look like a typical vinyl window, which would not be very presentable for the historic district, I don't believe. So the Anderson series window is a very sleek design. It's I would say boxy as compared to what was originally there. It's still there. But I can pass this around for you if you want to look
Thank
at it. And this is the proposed color that Mr. Redmond has chose. It's a dark bronze,
That's interior and exterior?
interior and exterior, yes, sir.
Okay.
That was going to be my first question because he came before us before, and it was about vinyl versus wood, and we made him do the wood.
Well,
This is a composite material.
Correct.
Is that correct? So, not all vinyl.
Super durable, though. It really is. It's a
Yes.
great window.
which side of this is the exterior and the interior?
What you're looking at now, sir, the dark bronze.
The other side.
No, the other side.
This is the exterior.
It's going to be interior and exterior. That's going to be the color.
Oh, so this is nothing.
Oh, that's
No,
just
that's
the
just
back.
a sample.
Okay.
Oh,
That'll be the color of the frame throughout.
So I want to go back to a sentence you said a moment ago. You said something about the window being boxy.
Well, if you can picture a typical vinyl window, it's very bulky, okay? You have to make the frames more substantial to take on stress that the house may put on that window. So a typical vinyl window is very substantial, okay? Because this is a wood composite, Anderson can make this window with thin frames, all right? And it doesn't look like a typical wood window that you would see on a residential house. So that's why it's in my opinion that this product would
Bill.
best suit
Bill.
a commercial historic building.
Great color. Go good with the.
And also, if I may approach, here's on Anderson's website, this is basically what the window would look like. Okay?
That's the picture at the back of our packet.
It's very similar, yes. There's a design feature in the Anderson website that you can get an approximate size, and it's a kind of visual of what it may look like. As you can see, this is why I'm saying it's boxy looking as compared to a typical vinyl window that you would see on a residential home.
I like it. I think it gives it character.
Yeah.
It does.
So the current window, was anybody out at the site?
Oh, yeah, been there.
Like 100 times a day?
Oh, yeah.
Well, walking by it and examining the window are two different things, so I guess
Yeah.
I should reword, did anybody examine
Yes.
the
Yes.
windows that exist?
Yes.
Because they currently have a couple of trim boards
Mhm.
on the bottom, as opposed to, I guess to me, from the eye, when I look at that material, it almost looks like it's a metal. It's not,
It's not a metal, and.
but it
trim
gives
board
that look of being more of the modern
It is,
metal.
the frames right now are stepped.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
they're stepped up. Will there be that, in other words, if this window's inserted, will we put the molding in front of that to continue
Yes,
that look?
that's just the word that you said, inserted, that's exactly what's going to happen. The window itself will be removed, but the actual frame of the window will still remain. So that feature will still be,
Visual from the
visual.
outside.
Yes.
So wait, so you're saying this is just gonna go over where the window, like on the edge of the window?
So that
Correct.
material is
Okay.
going to go behind the existing wood.
it'll insert, and if we can put it behind the trim, we will. That's the preferred method. If not, our installers will put a decorative trim around it to just dress it up a bit.
Do we have a sample of the
Yeah, I was gonna say a
decorative
decorative
or-
trim, what's that
Yeah.
look
Or
like?
is it just be quarter round with some caulking? Because we're losing the feature of the window is through the walkway.
Oh,
People
I'm sorry,
walk
that's only
by.
on the inside, the
Okay.
trim. Okay, that's only on the
No,
inside.
we're talking about the trim on the outside.
Oh,
He said
yes.
that's gonna remain, and that
Yeah.
trim will remain.
Well, yeah.
Fits-
They gave the caveat if you can. If the Sawzall doesn't kill it while they're taking it out.
That's on the inside.
Okay.
It's on the inside.
Okay. I mean, this is a concern that we have because when you take the historical windows out and replace them with the more modern metal windows, it is an entirely different look and it loses that character that this stepped up base molding around this window gives. Your picture doesn't show that molding up close.
Yeah, it's currently covered with
Plywood.
Yep.
But same for the inside trim, we're not going to disturb any of the interior trim as well. Again, it's a true insert type window installation as compared to a full frame installation, which everything would come out. And that's why this is really the only series of window that Anderson makes that would be a good fit for this situation.
Did you run this by Ron Campbell?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Then what do you guys use?
On-
Vulcanized rubber or solar seal?
We use OSI commercial products, okay, the foam and the caulking. We don't pull stuff off our own shelves either, so it's a good stuff.
I'm a contractor.
Okay.
If you look at this picture, you can see there
Yeah,
are
you-
3 or 4 steps right there. It's hard to.
That's cool part.
It sounds like this is the most cost-effective way to maintain the trim and the frame and popping in that composite material with the window.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that if that's going to be
Maintain.
hidden.
Well, yeah,
What
look,
I'm concerned with is losing the molding around. If you end up with a hole with just a black frame, you've lost the character of what that building is, so.
And
Like-
that is why we're not suggesting a full frame installation. As you sir may know, with a full frame installation, everything comes out, okay, and it's a new buck frame, everything is brand new. And that's not going to, it's gonna be a true insert window.
I mean,
I'll tell you something.
I love using the modern materials when we can,
Sure.
but I don't want to lose the
See how they
character.
got the step mold on the
Oh, I know,
sides?
and it exists down here too.
Right, so what he's saying is this just fits up into that.
Yep.
This remains.
Because you can see them here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that window fits in and this stays.
Yeah, and I think that would, as long as we make that happen, as long as our motion approves it in such a manner that that happens,
the frame stays.
yeah, then I think we're fine.
I do too.
The only option that we can do with your permission which I would tend to say no on this, but on a typical window installation, we would also wrap the frame of the window in a PVC coated aluminum. So if it were my window, I would say no, I wouldn't want that done, I would want to keep the actual wood.
I'll say in the historical district,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be,
That's not gonna happen. Yeah.
But on a typical installation, that's what our guys would do.
Sure.
right.
Yep, no window wrap.
Any other questions?
No? No, it's- they're a good quality window, there's no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Does the Anderson 100 windows have any type of color tint on off-axis viewing? Like when you're walking into the alley, does it look green or blue, or is it like a neutral window color? Or is it filled with some type of exotic gas that causes some type of diffraction grading?
Well, there are a couple things that go on with all glass packages, regardless of which manufacturer you're talking about, because of the Energy Star rating program. So these windows will have two layers of what is called a low emissivity coating. It's a layer of silver oxide that they spray on the inside of the interior glass, and what that does, it reflects away ultraviolet and infrared rays of the sun. Ultraviolet is what causes damage to furniture and carpet. Infrared rays of the sun cause heat buildup in a room. So by reflecting those rays away, it makes the window more energy efficient. And then in between the glass, there is a 3/4 inch space, and that space is filled with argon gas. Argon is an insulator, so it keeps heat where heat should stay and cold where cold should stay. So by looking at the glass, it will have a little bit of a tint to it, but not enough where it's like a mirror effect.
Is that a green tint or a
It's a
silver
gray
blue tint?
tint.
A gray tint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't want that mirrored effect.
No.
Like the vault.
But
Nobody
Hey,
said it.
was-
You said
was
it.
like that when I bought it.
I was gonna say, you didn't do that.
No, we did not.
That's funny.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure?
I think if we had the addendum in there that this does not get aluminum wrapped, that
Right.
would.
And/or replaced?
Yes.
And/or replaced, then I would accept it as presented.
Yeah, me too.
As long as those steps in the wood are still there, it's
Mr. Watson, do you have anything to add?
No, sir?
Okay.
So-
Mr. McCanny?
Under a notice,
Proceed.
so there's a couple flavors we can go through. We can do a certificate of appropriateness, or we can do notice to proceed, where the work is not appropriate, however the conditions prevail. I don't know how to handle glass. So we can't go back to the glass foundry and bring back the French glass or whatever the glass was made.
That sweet
So-
lead glass, I still got it at my house.
Well, the glass that's in these windows isn't the original glass.
No.
Right, it's probably been
It's
replaced. a
probably
few times.
something in the 50s or 60s that was replaced, based on what I looked at.
So does it fall underneath the certificate of
Well, I
appropriateness?
think
or just a
motion to proceed,
Motion to proceed, then?
and with the two stipulations that we spoke about, would be the direction to go.
Maintaining the,
Maintaining the outward wood trim and not the aluminum wrap.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
wrapping.
Wrap.
We know what they happened with the aluminum wrap at your house. They made a whole bay window go away. Back in the late 50s. He owns one of the historical homes in town.
Oh, okay, water got behind it and rotted out.
No, they just
was
wrapped
just
it and
gone.
squared it off. It was gone.
Made it go away.
Tore it all off. Here was the beautiful window with the fish scales and everything.
Oh, gosh.
I guess if nothing else, they preserved it for the last 70, 60 years.
it's true.
But it sure changed the look of the house.
All right. All right, so propose a notice to proceed. I move the commission issue a notice to proceed for application number
2022-005.
20,
2022 005.
2022-005, so it's the fifth one. And the proposed application will materially correct a condition. So I would reference Secretary of Interior's Standards for Rehabilitation number 5. Distinct materials, features, finishes, construction techniques, and examples of craftsmanship that characterize a property will be preserved. That covers the molding that we want to maintain. And then number 6, deteriorated historic features will be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity of deterioration requires replacement of distinctive feature, a new feature will match the old in design, color, texture, and other, where possible, materials. Replacement of missing features will be substantiated by documentary and physical evidence. Again, maintaining the frame with just an inserted window. And so that would be, we've already said that once, but maintaining the outward trim and no aluminum wrap, which would be customary as per the expert in a regular window installation.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. McCanny, using number 5 and 6 from the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines, which covers the molding and replacement of any historic material. Mr. Watson, number 6 kind of falls in your department, you're in charge of. And with the addendum that there will be no wrap. I think you said aluminum wrap, did you not?
Correct.
Yeah, no aluminum wrap. Is there any further discussion by this commission?
No, sir.
Roll call, please.
DeSessa,
Yes.
McCamey,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Cuxy,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Cullis.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Sinclair.
Thank you for your help.
And how will I receive a notice of that?
Mr. Watson.
Do you want your little sample back?
Yes, please.
Mr. Watson, it's elementary, my dear.
And how long will that take to?
Offices are closed on Friday?
16 weeks.
16.
Yep, I think man, Monday we'll fax over a form for you, or email.
All right, thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
night.
There's always an instigator here. All right.
Yeah, there's got to be one.
As we approach old business, what typically happens is Mr. Watson calls me before they put out the agenda, and we have a conversation, and this time that didn't happen. The agenda just showed up. And my element on old business, if you remember correctly, Ron Campbell had said he wanted to do a presentation within that fence thing. Was not ready to do that tonight. I spoke with him about 3:30 this afternoon. He had a
Table that.
conflict, so we need to table that and move it on to the next one. And then once you give me that call, I'll make the call to Mr. Campbell to make sure he's ready. We'll add him under presentation for that one. So we'll have to
We
find
need
out.
to make a motion to table that, George?
We do.
I'll make the motion to table old business, 2022-004 to the next meeting.
Is there support? Motion by Perkins, support by Cuxy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0.
I'm just going to deny it anyway.
You'll be walking that dog all winter.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
So, at this point, we will enter into commission comments. I'll start on my right, Ms. Cuxy.
I don't have any comments.
Okay, Mr. McCanny.
Are we having a December meeting or not?
That's a good comment. That's a good question.
Oh, yeah, we ditched DDA, so I don't know who else is ditching.
I guess, let me talk to Mr. Campbell and find out. It'll be up to him.
Okay.
If that's when he wants to do it or not, we'll go there. Mr. DeSessa?
No comment, thank you.
Mr. Perkins?
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Okay. Mr. Murphy?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, for my comment, I was contacted by President-elect Delaney, asked if I wanted to remain on the HDC. I told him I did, but we'll see what happens. So, he didn't give me a
Are you
yay
up?
or a nay.
Are you up?
I think my term's up. Mr. Watson, do you know?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't have that
Okay.
memorized.
Yeah. There's typically two of us up at the same time. Mr. Perkins is not considered part of the commission because he's a councilman. So there's usually two people up
I
every
think,
year.
I think I renewed mine last year. So.
Mr. McCanny was last year. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's with
I'll
me.
make myself a note, and we'll find out for the next meeting, so we'll have everybody's tenure and where we're at.
Yeah, we'll find out. He didn't mention who the other person was, nor did he ask me if I had any recommendations for anybody, so I don't know. But, so if this ends up my last meeting, well, then you guys can soldier on. Staff comments. Chris, anything?
No thanks. Happy
All right.
Thanksgiving.
You're always so diligent and right there, Johnny, on the spot. Mr. Watson,
Update on the CLG.
okay?
The participation plan has been updated and uploaded to the file. We are in the process with the website. We're down to 3 of the bids. Hoping to narrow it down to 2 or 1 here in the next couple weeks. And then once that website is approved and up and running, we'll be in line with the RRC and the CLG to upload everything to that website so that it's transparent and visual for the CLG to fact check that. So we're still working. The website is the biggest one, but we got the bids out, we got the bids back in. We've got 3 that we're looking at, 2 pretty heavily. Once that trigger's pulled on that, then they just got to build the website and then put the information on it. So I would hope early next year we should have this all up and running and moving forward.
Okay, is Miss Edwards still working on that with you?
No, it's just Nick Klemp and I, and occasionally Mr. Walker.
Okay, I just didn't know if she was still involved or,
Unless Nicole and Mr. Klemp are doing it
okay.
without my knowledge.
Well, I know she had done a lot of the prep
That's true,
work up
yes.
to this point, so I didn't know if she was still involved.
That's
All right.
correct.
Anything else to come before this commission? Then I will close the meeting at 7:27.